What is up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. Today it's just a quick update video because I've been asked so many times. We have our JB probes in now. So they were initially sent out to me and I had some trouble with them cracking and breaking, and once I started posting about it, I heard all these stories from everybody else dealing with the same thing. So not to bash on JB, I actually do commend them for, you know, going back and fixing these and actually having a solution somewhat. I feel like there's good news and bad news. So we're gonna get into the updated probes, what they did, what they offer, what I think about it, and how I think they're gonna hold up. We'll do another update after, I wanna say like a month or so, because they broke on me pretty quickly. So I wanna see if it's gonna make a difference with this new set to see if it's gonna last longer than the original ones. So before we get into the new box, new probes, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about in case you missed it. These are my older probes. I do have, you know, some fittings on them. I do still use them. I started taking off the tape. So let's remove what's holding them together. All right, so on this one, you can see that little panel in the middle just broke off. So that came off randomly one day. If we look, you can see some cracking around the port in the back. Pieces, chunks missing, a lot of cracks running. But like I said, I just taped it. You can see more cracks right here. I taped it up and it held together. That's the low side. Here's my high side. You saw some cracking down here. Chunk missing up here. Cracked to the back there. So the psychrometers I don't use or abuse too much. I just check temp really quick and put them back. The clamps, I never use them because I have a field piece set that I use for my superheat and regular checks. And this was in basically my backup set. So I never used these clamps. I maybe used them twice in total just to test them. And then I put them away in the van. And then I was working on a walk-in cooler and I was like, you know what? Let's give it a try. This one has a crack right there. And I don't have the other one. I'm not even sure what I did with it because as soon as I went to go open it to clamp onto the suction line, it just fell apart basically. The whole thing just kind of snapped and it fell on the floor because I was like, what's going on? So on the other one, the area around, because there is a spring hinge in here that is it's metal, it's way tougher than the plastic that they're using. So eventually that spring just kind of broke through. So it all cracked around these hinge points right here on both sides. And I have basically a clamp that's in two pieces, which you'll see on screen. But yeah, so I have one clamp left. So probes were not durable. The clamps were not durable. I don't use the psychrometers, I think, enough to give you guys an update on that. But for the most part, I mean, those are still held together. Now, JB sent me like a little care package. We're only gonna look at the probes in here. So I've already opened the bags that they come in. So these are the psychrometers. And I'm gonna get into my thoughts on what I think they did, and I'll see if they respond and let me know and give me some insights. Here are the clamps. And then here are the, well, I have the other one. I'll get the other one right now. Here is the probe. So at first glance, it looks very similar, but what they changed was the material that it's made out of. It's supposed to be more durable. It's not supposed to crack. I don't know what happened because these just immediately started getting little hairline fractures and stuff like that, just being in my tool bag. I don't typically carry them in this case, although I had messages where people did have them in this case, and just from checking systems and using them normally, they were breaking. So I even saw one that was broken in half. I don't even know how that happened, but he had 2 pieces of his pressure probe just broken down the middle, probably at this weak point right here, because this is 2 pieces on top that go together. There's screws that hold it together, and then you have this random window right here that, like on mine, it completely came off. So right off the rip, it does feel different. It does feel like this is an actual different material, and it's not this one's a little shinier. You can kind of tell the plastic that it is. This one felt sketchy when I first picked it up. This one actually feels like it's supposed to last a little bit, you know. So we're gonna test it out. We'll see how it does. I'll try to make sure I don't get them mixed up. I just don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. The new one, which is the one on the left, is a little more matte. There's a little more texture to it, where the one that broke was a little more reflective and shiny. And if I get the other one, even right here, the little windows look different. Like, it's a lot more matte on the new one, where you get a little bit of a different texture to it. You can kind of see it more on this side. They look different. They feel different. But how do we know for certain what they did or if anything was changed? So I have a theory that we're going to test out right now and see if I can prove anything. I think they only changed the pressure probes. Like I said, this pressure probe feels very different. It's a very matte finish. It feels a little bit heavier, which will be my point in a minute. But these clamps, the clamps broke on me too. I've had bad luck with the clamps. They cracked. This doesn't feel the same as the pressure probe in this new set. And this feels exactly, and it shines the same. It looks the same as my old one. So I'm wondering if anything was changed on these new, on the rest of the set, basically. That's where a scale comes in place, right? So we're gonna put that up. Old one, the old pressure probe. It is 220 grams. $219 standing up. And yeah, you get a significant difference there. Now we get 225, 224. You get like 4 to 5 grams difference. Now let's try the old clamp. 169 grams either way. And then the new clamp, 100. Somehow it's a grams lighter, 168. Yeah. Just look at the way that it shines and everything. There's a difference there. When I get the clamps here, they are like identical. So it's not that it's new, because even here they look and shine the same. So that's just my theory. I don't feel a difference on their other clamps and psychrometers. I do feel a difference on the probes. All right, so I'm trying my best to show you guys what I'm talking about here on camera with the lighting and the way it shines. It is definitely a texture thing, no matter which way I put it on screen. If you can see a difference, there definitely is one. But what if I told you these are 2 battery covers from the same set? One is a pressure probe and one is a temp clamp. You tell me. All right, so quick last minute update, literally, because we're gonna have to go into the firmware to get this. This is basically the nail in the coffin to basically get me to switch over now. They've addressed literally every gripe that I've had with it, right? So you have the new material. I've used them already for a few days. They're holding up quite nicely. We'll see how that goes over a longer period of time. But for this newer update, you're gonna have to get into your JB Firmware app. So go to your app store, search JB Firmware, and make sure you download that app, and then you're gonna go into it. Now what they've done here is managed to address several issues that I've had with these things, and as you can see here, they're all off. I accidentally left these on in my tool bag, and these are brand new batteries. They last forever, but you're gonna start losing battery if you just, something you don't use as often, which would be, for myself, the clamps and the psychrometers. I find out a week later or so, and then they're, you know, damn near dead. So they last forever. Don't get me wrong, but it's just annoying. And for the life of me, could not figure out why they don't have auto off in any other product. So what they've done is, if you go here, let's start with these two here. And they're also gonna address the naming of these, because they all have the same name no matter what it's mapped to. Okay, so I just realized that all the new ones that they sent out to me were previously updated before I got them. But I'm gonna grab the old probe that I have here, which I'm still using. I'm still gonna write it out until it completely is rendered useless, like that one clamp that snapped in half. But we're gonna turn this one on. And this one's on 1.103. I can tell from here. Okay, now I'm gonna see a P1, which is a pressure probe. We're gonna get into that one and make sure we're connected. Then we're gonna go click on that one, and it's gonna prompt you immediately. There's a firmware update to go from 1.1.03 to 1.1.05, and we're gonna click OK. And it says preparing device for update, may take up to 5 minutes. It's gonna start downloading and do everything for you. So I just have it, I had left it on and it was connected. Now we're just waiting for it to update, and I'll kind of, we'll see how long that takes. Downloaded, now it's just updating really quick. Successfully updated, so that was quick and painless. So if you have an older set, or you notice that yours is not, I mean, you can download this app. When you first turn it on, you're gonna see the firmware. It's gonna give you some information. You can also get into the settings and check that way, or download this firmware app, because that's all this really is just to be updating your probes, and you can see what version you're on to see if you need to be updated. Now, I'm gonna turn the old one off, and we're gonna go and map all of our new ones. You can go to their JB app, or you can also just do it in MeasureQuick. They are almost the same app in itself, the way it looks, the way it works, but also they carried the functionality over to MeasureQuick for people that are using MeasureQuick. So let's go to Probe Manager and see how this works. JB Pressure Probe, which is this one right here. We're gonna map it to low pressure. Okay. We're gonna try that again. I think my MeasureQuick needed an update, so we went ahead and updated it. So now let's map to low pressure. Okay, now it changed over. You see, it used to say TP, and now it says LP. So the benefit here now is once you remap them, because they were already mapped before this, I made sure my MeasureQuick app itself was updated. You're gonna be able to map it, and then it's gonna show you that here. So now let's try to connect to this one. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you an example here, T1, right? So it has not been officially mapped in the updated app itself. So we're gonna go to our temperature line pressure, and this one I'm gonna use for my suction line temperature. And you're gonna see that it's gonna change to SL now. So without having to rely on these color bands, you're gonna be able to see, oh, that's my low pressure and that's my suction line temperature. So I like that update quite a bit, and you get all the information you need right on the screen. I can't tell you how many times I've used these without ever pulling out my phone or using any app of any case, because at this point, I kind of already know some of the refrigerants that I'm used to and what's normal and what's abnormal and what to look for based on just pressure readings. So that's going to be a huge help, having the temperature, being able to do the math in my head really quick if I can without pulling out a phone, having a phone overheat, sunny situations, whatever it is. That's why I would really hope that all manufacturers going forward use some sort of display like this. Now, if you want to use JB's official app, and I've been asked this before because I think there's a few different ones, you need to get specifically the JB Go V2. They need to update that manifold though. We can get out of here. As you can see, it looks very much like the MeasureQuick app. So they go hand in hand, they work, they collaborate together basically. So now we'll go to Toolbox. Again, it looks very much like MeasureQuick if you guys are into that, or you can use whichever. They work identical. So I'm going to show you here, you can also do the same thing. So the pressure probe, even though it says high pressure, you need to remap it to get it to change over on your probe itself. So pressure probe here, map to high pressure. You're going to see that change over in a second. High pressure, HP now. We're going to do that for the line temperature. This one is our liquid line, and you're going to see that change over right now. Liquid line temp. So another gripe that I don't know if I voiced it or not, so I'm not trying to take credit for any of these changes they've made, but that's a cool feature. Now, to address, let me see how we can do this. To address the auto off function, apparently you can do all of this in the app itself. So I'm in the JB one right now. We'll do the pressure probes through this app and we'll do the clamps through the MeasureQuick. You're gonna go to settings. Now you have options for power off, sleep, wake, or set an auto off. So let's set an auto off first. I think 60 minutes is fantastic. So we're going to do that for all of these probes. Set an auto off of 60 minutes. That way, if I forget or it's a probe that I don't use that often, they're not going to stay on and kill my batteries. So I set an auto off for 60 minutes on all of my probes now. Now, the other cool thing, see if I can get this here, is that you can manually shut these off. Let's say you're already packed up to go. These are in your tool bag or whatever it is, put away, and you're already ready to drive off. And you're like, I don't know if I remember to shut them off or not, right? And either the auto off, you don't want to wait for the auto off, or you don't have it set. So you can go in here and connect to them. That's how I've checked before. I'm like, oh man, they're still on because I can still see them here. Well, hit settings and hit settings and hit power off. Boom. That one turned off. Let's do it for the next one. This is so cool. So we hit that one off. The next one should turn off in a second. Bam. So you can turn these off remotely and then no worries about batteries. That was my biggest gripe here, is having an auto off function, but being able to turn them off remotely is so cool. So I'm going to get out of the JB. We're going to go back to MeasureQuick so we can show that they work basically the same. You're going to go here. It looks identical. You're going to hit settings and we're going to hit power off, and we're going to hit settings on this one and power off. One off, second one off. Dude, I'm sorry, but JB kind of won me over there. Having the auto off was a big deal for me. Being remotely able to be turned off is a nice, cool little flex, if I'm being honest. And then having the labels on them now, where it's liquid line, suction line, low pressure, high pressure, that's fantastic. So you don't rely on these bands here. And the durability now, I'm not worried about breaking them, but we're gonna have to do an update further down the line to make sure that the material that they use that you can actually feel. Because I mean, if you get the new ones, if you guys warranty yours and you get the new ones, these are great. Or if you're looking to buy them right now, I think right now they've listened, they've fixed everything that I had a problem with, and I love that. So for me, I'll be using and kind of converting to these. The main reason, if you're going to ask me, is obviously the display, what I mentioned earlier, being able to check things. I've done calls without ever pulling out my phone, but the charging port. I work on so much old equipment where it is micro leaks, and the customer's like, you know, just top it off, get us by a couple weeks till we can, you know, pay for, or we can, or maybe we're waiting for a coil or new equipment because, you know, it's hard to get things right now, and we can top it off. So I'm already hooked up to the system and we have our charging port here. So that's one of the biggest sells for me, is the screen and the port. The drawback and the reason I couldn't recommend it was because they broke and the auto off function was really annoying. So everything's been addressed. We'll see how they deal with longevity, durability, being in my tool bag, being on rooftops, being in the sun, being in a hot van. It may be attributed to some of the cracking. I don't know, but I will for sure let you guys know. I've just been blown away with all of the fixes. I mean, I know they mentioned nothing's perfect. Listening and going above and beyond has really made an impression on me. So I can backtrack. I can, you know, tell you guys I've been convinced, and I don't want to seem like I'm selling something. This is just, I'm just super happy that they've managed to do this and make it right. So do I think these will actually make a difference in, you know, the changing of material? Absolutely. I think this is going to, this feels much better. Like I said, right away, instantly. This feels like something that like tools are actually made out of, where the old ones, just from feeling it, you can tell. If you guys have held anything plastic, you can tell when it's durable or when it's going to break. And I already knew immediately on the old ones that they were going to break. If you ever have issues, if something ever breaks, exercise that warranty. Reach out to these companies, reach out to the supply house that you bought them from, wherever it is. I know JB, Infocon, even Hillmore, and there's certain brands that if you walk into a supply house, and this goes for like Klein Tools as well, and you just tell them, hey, I just bought this, it broke, whatever, they'll just swap it out. They'll just do something where you can get like a no downtime type of warranty. Most places will do that for you. Just speak up. Even Harbor Freight, if you guys break anything at Harbor Freight, that's like a lifetime warranty on most things. Take it in, they'll replace it. So hopefully that was helpful if you guys were looking into these. That is always my concern, even though I got them for free and maybe they regretted sending them out, but they've been good sports about it. But even then, when I get stuff sent to me, because I have stuff that I haven't even gotten to, that it just piles up here. And a lot of it I would have to test before I can recommend it. So for the most part, when something shows up here, I have to go and look at the price. I have to ask myself, would I buy it? Could I recommend it? Because most of you are finding these videos when you're looking up something for like a review, something you're looking to purchase. So that's always my thing, is what's the price? Does it make sense? Is it affordable? Why would I pay more or less for this particular brand? How is it? Is it durable? Is it worth it? And would I make this purchase and recommend it to someone else or my technicians at my company? Like, are we going to actually use these products? So that's always my thing. I hope you guys got something out of it, and we will update you as soon as I can. Shout out to JB for at least owning up and making a change. We'll see if it's the right call. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you guys.